Welcome to the second half of this show, episode 3 of the Sports Wrap with Michael Kravetz. And in this half, we'll be talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates raced in 6 games, 3 at home against Miami, 3 at home against Chicago. The first half of the series of the homestand started out really well for the Pirates. The first game, they beat the Marlins 4-3. Second game, they won 5-1. Third game, they won 3-0. So they swept Miami. The game Saturday against the Marlins was kind of really peculiar because they scored 4 runs in 1 inning without getting a hit. A bunch of hits batsmen, walks, sacrifice flies against Marlins pitcher Carlos Zambrano, and the Pirates won. So that's the way the Pirates have been winning some of these games lately. They've been getting a lot of breaks, getting a lot of luck, and that's what you need to do. You have to have these types of games, and you got to come out as winners in these types of games in a 162-game season, because not every game is going to go the way you expect it to. The second half of the homestand was quite different, though, however. With the Cubs coming in, a lot of fans, I know myself included, expected the Pirates to at least win 2 out of 3 and possibly already sweep them. But baseball, you got to play the game. First game of the series, they lost 2-0. Bedard had a great outing. He had 11 strikeouts, but the offense, it totally went blank. McCutchen had an infield single. He beat it out, and then Harrison had an infield single in the 9th. So the Pirates had 2 hits that entire game. They could have easily been no hit by Cubs pitcher Jeff Samardzija. And then in the second game of the series, the Cubs won 5-1. Once again, their offense went completely AWOL, doing nothing. And then in the final game, they were able to salvage at least 1 game out of the series by beating the Cubs 3-2, behind home runs of Neil Walker, McHenry, and then a RBI double by Garrett Jones. So, I guess what concerns me, I guess you would say, after this homestand, they went 4-2, so it was a successful homestand, but the pitching, it seemed to have taken a little step back, especially with McDonald. He hasn't had a great start since the All-Star break. But Correa has won 6 in a row. That's a career high. And Bedard is still pitching really well. It's just the offense is not giving him support. I still believe that the Pirates need to get a bat. They did trade for Wandy Rodriguez. They got rid of prospects, Rudy Owens, Robbie Grossman, and Colton Kane. Colton Kane, single-A pitcher. I mean, I think he has a lot of promise. I think he's going to help the Astros organization. Robbie Grossman was the Pirates minor league player of the year last year. I think he's going to be great for Houston as well. And then Rudy Owens, who many people thought he might be called up to pitch for the Pirates sometime this year, has done solid in AAA. And I think, hey, he might end up being on the big league roster for Houston when the Pirates go in to play them in this 4-game series coming up. So he might pitch against the Pirates. I don't know. But I think it was good that they just took players, prospects they got rid of. They didn't remove anyone from the major league team yet. And I think Wandy Rodriguez is going to be a great fit with this team because he was always a thorn in the Pirates' side when they played Houston in the past. The question becomes, though, what will the Pirates do with their rotation? It is a good thing, though, that they have more pitching than they need. It's a great problem to have. I think you're guaranteed that Burnett, McDonald, and Rodriguez are going to be the top 3 in the rotation because you didn't trade for Rodriguez and put him in the bullpen. Then the question becomes, you have Bedard, Correa, and Karstens. Correa has won 6 in a row. He's had experience as a reliever. Karstens has looked really well since coming off the DL. He's had experience as a reliever. Bedard is the worst pitcher for the Pirates statistically. 5-11, an ERA in the high 4s. And his experience as a reliever has not been good. He's been pretty bad. I don't know if they should have 2 left-handers in the rotation. But I get the feeling, personally, yes, I do think Bedard should be the one that steps back. But who will be the best reliever coming into relieving situations as a long reliever role? Probably Correa. So I do think it'll be Carsons and Bedard that completes the 5-man rotation, and then Correa will come out of the bullpen, which already strengthens your bullpen, which has been one of the best this year. A lot of people are saying, oh, maybe they'll go to a 6-man rotation. I don't think that's going to happen. That you may see that happen with a team that is like really out of it and struggling, and they want to try something new. But the Pirates are in a wild card race right now, and they're still in a division race with the Cincinnati Reds for the NL Central. So I don't think a 6-man rotation is going to be the way to go. But I still believe that the Pirates need to acquire a bat. Now, it has probably changed because yesterday, after I attended the Pirate game, it was reported on 93.7 The Fan that Starling Marte was going to get called up to play with the Pirates in Houston. It was a rumor on Twitter. 30 seconds later, the Tribune Review confirmed it, and Starling Marte is officially now called up and will be in the starting lineup tonight against the Houston Astros. He will be playing in left field. I'm assuming he's going to be put in the leadoff spot. So you're going to have Marte, Walker, McCutchen, Jones, and then McGee as your top 5 with Alvarez batting 6. So that's a pretty good top 6. The question is, are they rushing Marte up? Because Neil Huntington said on Sunday that Marte was still finding his way in AAA. There were still some things he needed to work on. Now, whether Huntington was pressured into bringing him up by the media, fans, and other members of the Pirate organization, or if someone kind of went over his head pretty much and said, I'm going to bring him up, whether it had been Nutting or Coonelly, I don't know, but I think this is going to be good for the Pirates because I think Marte needed to come up, and I think this bringing him up means that I don't think the Pirates will trade him. And depending on how he does, he will be their third outfielder. They're not going to go after, say, a Justin Upton or a Hunter Pence. His stats in AAA have been really good as of late. He hasn't been tearing it up, but he's been really good in AAA. He has a .289 average, lots of triples. He's not a power guy. He has 20 stolen bases. He's had 20 stolen bases in every level of the minor leagues so far. So I think he's going to bring speed. His on-base percentage is going to be a lot better. It's going to be an improvement over Presley. And I don't know. I think he's going to end up doing well. I don't think he's going to... He might have a little bit of struggles because they got 10 games on the road to start off. And, I mean, I'm sure he's going to he needs to find his footing. But once they come back for that 11-game homestand at PNC Park, I think he's really going to shine. They ended up sending Evan Meek down back to Indianapolis while bringing up Marte. So the question is, once Rodriguez is added to the roster, who will be sent down? I'm assuming it's going to be an outfielder, or it could be Jordy Mercer. It's either going to be Mercer, Hernandez, or Presley. I like Gorkys Hernandez. I know he's, 2 for 24 in the stints he's had with the Pirates this year. But he's a great defensive outfielder. In the game yesterday in the top of the 9th, he ran down a ball. Well, when I was there, I was watching. I thought McCutchen was the only one that had a beat on it, and it didn't look like he was going to get it. And Hernandez came out of nowhere and made the catch near the wall. So I think his defensive presence is good to have late in games, especially when you have Jones in right field and you want to replace him like the 7th or 8th inning. I think he'd be better to have over Presley, even though Presley can probably give you a better pinch hitting role. I still think you should keep Gorkys Hernandez and probably send down Presley again. But if Mercer's name is on the table, I'd send him down because he really hasn't played that much, and I don't think is that great of a pinch hitter. He's probably worse than Gorkys Hernandez. And the last thing I want to get into about the Pirates is so many targets, so many names have come up related to the Pirates during this trade deadline. It's really been happy for me because in the past, the Pirates have always been sellers and getting all these prospects. And it's like, oh, okay, I don't know these players. They might do something for us in the future, but they're not going to be ready for like 3 or 4 years. So many names, like I've been watching Baseball Tonight, MLB Network, so many names have been flying around, like Hunter Pence. They said Pittsburgh is interested in him. Justin Upton, of course. Pittsburgh is interested in him. Shane Victorino. The Pirates have been interested. Even Josh Johnson The Pirates have been interested in him, even though they're not going to go after him, of course, since they have Rodriguez already. I think it's great for the city and great for the fans to know that, wow, all these free agents and the Pirates are in consideration for them. I just think it's great. I do think, though, that they don't need to go after a young player. They can go after a veteran. It's possible that the Phillies might try and get rid of Jimmy Rollins. I know they have Clint Barmish at shortstop, but I think Jimmy Rollins would be a hell of an improvement over Barmish, especially offensively. I don't think the Pirates are going to try and get him, though, but I just think that would be a hell of a move to have both Rollins and Barmish. Of course, but Barmish being a backup, I don't think they're going to try. They're not going to make him a backup with the money that they're paying him. I do think, though, that a name that hasn't been brought up yet, Alfonso Soriano. In the first 2 games when the Cubs came here for this past 3-game series, he torched the Pirates in the first 2 games. He had a home run, had a couple doubles, had 2-hit games each day he played. He has 19 home runs. He is a veteran. I know it would probably cost the Pirates a lot of money. The Cubs would probably have to eat up some of his salary. But I think he would be great coming off the bench as an outfielder. But since they're bringing up Marte, I don't know if they're going to want to bring in an outfielder. They might want to bring in a first baseman or a third baseman. Chase Headley is also a player that the Pirates were linked to. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I think they at least need to get a veteran bat to come off the bench to kind of help leadership, who has been in the playoffs before and can help this younger team. So the Pirates have a big road stand coming up against division teams. 4 at Houston, 3 at Chicago, and then a big showdown, 3 against Cincinnati. I think if the Pirates can at least go 6-4, that would be perfect, because they have 11-game homestand then after that against the Diamondbacks, the Padres, and the Dodgers. So I think this is going to be a big telltale sign of where this team is headed. Are they going to stay near the top of the division and compete with Cincinnati, or are they going to fall back and struggle? Personally, I think they're going to stay in this in the long haul, and they're going to be there at the end with the wild card race and with the NL Central race with the Cincinnati Reds. But in another note, of course, it is 1 year ago today since the infamous Jerry Meals call with the Braves and Pirates late extra inning madness game last year. So I just wanted to bring that up and say, wow, what a difference a year makes. Pirates are 13 games over 500 now, and they look a lot better than they did last year when they were an okay team, but now I think they're a pretty darn good team. So I don't know. Let's hope Jerry Meals isn't an umpire in tonight's game. Well, I want to thank you all again for tuning in to my YouTube station and listening. Next week, get into more Pirate talk. I'm sure that'll be dominating my show. Maybe get into a little Penguins talk and, of course, some Steelers talk as well. So, signing off, this is Michael Kravetz, and you just listened to the Sports Wrap.